Hello lovely Simmers, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing another speed build. I kind of want to do a let's play. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do though. I think I might wait for another new pack. I know we just got cottage living, but I feel like that one's been done, and even though I love the gameplay for it, I feel like it's not really something I want to do right now. So I may end up doing one a little bit later. I've been really interested in playing Discover University again, so I might even jump into doing something with that for another Let's Play, because I haven't done one with that pack, but I am trying to come up with a storyline for another Let's Play. I'm about to start my new job, so things might get a little hectic for a little bit, but I am trying. And I want to say, I have had people ask me about my save file, so I am still working on it. And it will be up. I think I said something about like by the end of the year. That's not gonna happen. It'll probably, the first version of it with the 3 base game worlds will probably be up by the end of, I'm gonna say February. I'm gonna give myself 2 months because I have December pretty much planned. I want to do a whole bunch of like holiday themed builds. I have ideas like Colonial Christmas and Holiday Hills, so like a house that would be in like the Beverly Hills or the Hollywood Hills or something. And then so I just want to do a whole bunch of like feel good holiday different style builds, so then that way that'll fill December, and then starting with January we will pick back up where we left off with Willow Creek of my save file, and then after that we'll just have Willow Creek and what I used to build in it all the time. Oh my god, now I can't remember what it's called. The 3 base game worlds: Oasis Springs, Willow Creek, and it starts with an N. Oh my god, I cannot believe I forgot what this world was. Newcrest. Sorry, I turned around. I have all the maps still on my corkboard behind me, so I turned around real quick to look at the board. But Newcrest. So we'll finish Willow Creek, which I think I have about half the houses left, and then we'll finish Newcrest, and then I will have the first version of my save file up. And I wanted to do the first 3 base game worlds first as its own version, so then that way people who only have base game can still download those that version of the save file. Now, not all of the homes inside of those worlds are going to be base game only, but I am keeping those 3 worlds pretty limited to the main packs that I think most simmers have, like Cats and Dogs and Seasons. And then some of the newer packs as well, because I know there's been a lot of interest with the newer packs. So that is what's going on with the save file and with what I have planned for a Let's Play. So that way you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing with my channel. But let's get back to the build we are working on now. As you guys can see, it is more of a modern style home, which I haven't done in a little bit. I've been focusing more on cozy style builds because that is what I'm more comfortable with, but this time around I decided to do something a little bit bigger and a little bit more modern, and it is in Mount Komorebi, which this style of home isn't necessarily in this world, but I really liked this lot because I am going off of a picture I found on Instagram, actually, not Pinterest this time, and the house itself was sat inside of a hill. So as you saw in the beginning, I did go ahead and kind of incline the world a little bit. And I thought that this lot would look really good if the back of the house faced a river or a lake or an ocean. And then that way, where the back of the house was, that was sat right on top of the hill, it had like this beautiful view of the water, and they could walk down the hill from their house to the water. So as you can see, I did build that little pathway area. And that was just kind of my idea. So when I saw this lot faced, or had like the backwards face to this little lake here in Mount Komorebi, I did decide to build this here. And I'm really happy with how this house turned out. I'm a little bit more happy with the exterior than I am with the interior, because I'm not the best at modern interiors. I feel like they just, even though they're very minimal, I feel like they take a lot of effort to make the minimal look good, and not like you just haven't put any decorations in the house, but you've purposely left certain spaces bare. So I do struggle a little bit with modern interiors, but I'm really happy with how the exterior worked. I played a lot with platforms on the roof to make it look a little bit more interesting than just a flat roof, and I used some pieces from Island Living that make it look like a skylight right around the hallway area. And honestly, I think a part of that skylight might be in the bathroom, which is a little awkward now that I'm looking at it. But your Sims can't, like, there's nothing in the game to make that awkward. Like, Sims don't, like, look in through your windows unless you have the mod. And even if you had the mod, it's on the ceiling, so it's not like it would really matter, so I think it's okay. But now we're going into the decorating part of it, and as you can see, I did build this pool here. I didn't add any lawn chairs because all of the areas of the decks on this house are covered, so it's not like your sim could get a tan anyway, like they can't sit out in the sun. And they are right next to the lake, so I figured if they really wanted to do that, they could put a towel in their inventory and then walk themselves down to the lake and tan there. I figured the pool was more just for exercise and a little bit of show. You know, they're fancy here in this house. They have their own pool. And I do have a storyline for the Sims in this house, so I used a lot of the Dream Home Decorator Dream Home Decorator pack. So I did think one of the Sims here, living here, was a interior designer. And then I figured the other one was a photographer, and I thought that they had maybe met on a job. Like, one of them had done a really nice home, they had decorated it very nicely, they had designed it, maybe they even an architecture, and it was like a masterpiece. And then the photographer came to take photos of it for a magazine that they worked for at the time, and that's how they met, and they fell in love. And then they designed this house to be picturesque and on the water, so that way the photographer could follow their real passion of nature photography and other things. And then they had a child. There is a kid's bedroom here, and that was kind of my storyline of the family. Now, as you can see, this living room is a little cramped. I technically didn't have to put a downstairs bathroom because there are 2 bathrooms upstairs. This house does have 2 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. However, I really like having a bathroom downstairs, so that way if your sim has guests over, they don't have to walk upstairs through the house. And personally, if I end up playing in a house that has 2 stories, I put a bathroom downstairs and I put a door across the upstairs and lock it. Because I'm really sick and tired of Sims, like, jumping on my Sims computers and stuff like that. So I usually lock all that stuff away, so when my Sims have parties, I don't have to deal with it. Which I know sounds super bad, but sometimes I just get a little annoyed with the little things like that. But we are adding some pictures and stuff. I don't end up adding an art easel, but I did think that one of the Sims in this house probably enjoyed, probably the photographer, they probably enjoyed not only taking pictures, but making them themselves as well. Maybe not necessarily painting, but, you know, art prints and block arts and stuff like that. So that's why I chose these pictures from the Dream Home Decorator kit. And then I also, over here by this little side door, I put these, I think they're not technically dresser pieces, but they're not cabinets either. They're under the shelving category, and I'm using them as kind of a bench right by the back door. And at first I couldn't figure out how I wanted to decorate them because it was a little bit awkward, but I end up merging in some couch pieces. So first I put these what are they called, pillows on there to make it look like your sim could sit there, but then I end up merging in some couch pieces, these right here from Dream Home Decorator, and it makes it look like it's like a bench that you can sit on. And in theory, I think this is usable because there is chairs here. Now, it'll be a little awkward because your Sims will want to sit on the height of the chair that it normally is, and I do have that section raised a little bit, so it'll look like your sim is actually sitting inside of the chairs, but I think that's okay. Or you can just delete the thing and just put a couch there. That could work too. I just wanted it to be a little bit more funky. And then in here is the kitchen. It's a little bit of a weird shape, but I do get a full working kitchen. I'm not 100% sure if they ever fixed the fact that you can't put the stovetop on top of the oven, so I will play test that and then I will move it if necessary. But I am using the complete set of Dream Home Decorator stuff. I really like this kitchen set, and considering I was going with a modern feel, I thought it just matched a little bit better than my favorite, which is the Parenthood ones. And then I am adding a couple of decorations. I didn't want to add too much because, like I said, this is a modern home, so didn't necessarily think that they needed a lot of clutter, and I also wasn't 100% sure how much cooking this family would actually do versus ordering out or going out to eat, because they are, I definitely want to say, on the wealthier side of the Sims. They have this large house on the water. I didn't think that they were poor or slumming it, so I don't necessarily know how much home cooking they do, but I think that they have a very nice show kitchen for when they have people over, such as like the photographers, editors, or the Dream Home Decorators clients, you know, stuff like that. I thought that they definitely use this more for entertaining than for actually cooking. And right now I'm just fixing the counters. I didn't think I'd be able to fit any chairs there, so I moved them back a little bit so I can add a row. I'm not 100% sure if your Sims can sit there. I think that they should be okay, at least on the two end ones, because they can always go around the other side of the island and sit on that far end one. The middle one might be a little tricky, but I think it'll end up being okay. And then downstairs is just a half bath. It's just a toilet and a sink. I didn't think they needed a full third bath, just because they have the two full ones upstairs. And that is just a guest bath, so I don't think the guests need to be having showers or anything in your home. And then over here by this porch door is another seating area. That's another reason why I wasn't overly concerned about the downstairs living room being totally cramped, because there are a couple of different seating areas inside and outside in this home. And I'm decorating this with a lot of plants. There's a lot of natural light on this level of the house because it is the level that's kind of up on the hill. So I did want to portray that by having a lot of green and natural light and plants and stuff. I also added stuff for a cat. Now I did forget a litter box, so I will go back in and add that. But I wanted the Sims to have some type of a pet, and I thought a cat matched this lifestyle a little bit better. You know, if the parents weren't home all the time and it was just the kid around, I didn't think... I mean, I'm sure they could take care of a dog, especially in The Sims, but I thought a cat just kind of fit this lifestyle a little bit better, especially if they had the cat before the child, and they had it while they were traveling and stuff. A cat would be easier to take care of. And then right now we're working on both bathrooms. I decided to do both at the same time because they have the exact same stuff in them, except for the one has a bathtub. I did that in case you wanted to play with a toddler instead of a child, so that way you didn't have to fix that aspect. You could just replace the child's bed with a toddler bed. And then this is the main bedroom for the two parents, and it is kind of a lighter tone. It has the white floors and then a light blue wallpaper, which I think is technically a green, but we all know I have issues with the greens in the game. I think that they all look too blue, so it could be a green, it could be a blue, I honestly don't know, but I'm accenting it with some pinks from the Dream Home Decorator stuff, and then also some grays and yellows to bring in some of the warmer tones from the rest of the house. And then over here I'm just doing a little bit of a seating area. I did think the Sims would probably get dressed here, and considering they live their lives in the public eye, one was a famous photographer, one was a famous home decorator, I did think that they would be a little bit more concerned with how they looked, so I wanted to portray that by having a dressing area. And then over here I'm just adding some decorations to fill up the hallway, a couple of plants, and a shelving unit from Eco Lifestyle. And then this is the kids' bedroom. So the kids' bedroom is very pink and purple and blue, and it's also using a really dark wood tone that we don't see in the rest of the house. I did that because I thought the kid was probably going to grow up to be very different than the parents. So the parents are very public and they're very out in the open and they're very artistic, but I think this Sim is probably a little bit more private. She has her best friends, her closest friends, as you can see by the pictures on her wall, but she isn't a huge social butterfly. But she also really likes science and math and school, which is why her book bag's right next to her bed. And I'm going to be giving her a robot head, the one that comes, I think it's from Base Game, and is in like the kids decor. And I definitely think that this room kind of speaks to a child who has parents who are very artistic, so they're trying to make them artistic, you know, all the pops of color, all the brightness, all the handmade things, but then she wants to be more science-based, so she has her little school projects and her robot helmet and stuff like that. So that was what I was thinking for the kid. And then over here is a little bit of like a walkway from the sitting area upstairs to what is going to be the parents' shared office. So the office is going to end up being, I'm going to talk about it because I don't decorate it for very long, so I won't talk about it now. But it's one desk that I thought both parents would share. It has a computer, the one from Dream Home Decorator, so it is a portable computer, and then it has the board from Dream Home Decorator, and then it'll have photography stuff from the Machino pack to represent the fact that the one parent is into photography. And I put it right by the window in case they decide to take some shots out the window or something. But besides that, that is pretty much it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!